On this episode of the Bookie and Bettors show, I'm going to get our lessons from the AFC and NFC Championship games, and I'm going to have my friends here from Baldini's Casino vote on their top NFL rookies offense.
It's time for the Bookie and the Bettors show, live from Baldini's Casino. Beat the bookie. Make every bet count. Reno's #1 sports radio show is now on streaming platforms. Now, introducing the Bookie, Rob Kowalski, and the Bettors, Randy Wike and Nick Schulte.
Welcome back to yet another episode of the Bookie and Bettors show. I am your host, Robert Kowalski, here at beautiful Baldini's Casino, joined once again by my friends and colleagues, Randy Wike, Nick Schulte.
Hey. I can't believe the NFL season's coming to an end.
I can't believe it's almost February 25.
I know.
Where does the time go?
Jesus Christmas is just here.
See, you guys are speeding through it. I'm like, wait a second. We haven't already gone through
you
an
got
entire
like the
year?
light at the end of the tunnel. You finally maybe get a break for a while.
I just want my
between
break.
Super
When do
Bowl
I get a
and
day off?
March Madness.
Yeah, it was a AFC and NFC Championship weekend that was fairly exciting. Of course, you can't go one weekend without your little ounce or two or pound of controversy, and we'll probably get to that as well. As
I'm sure
we will.
I wanted to take a look at the first things on my list here for our listeners. And again, thank you so much for joining us here, wherever you may be finding us, whether it's on YouTube channel here, on our lovely little outfit that we have here at Baldini's Casino, or if you're listening in still on wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. Of course, we're going to continue all the way through the Super Bowl and well beyond. Sport is sport. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of just getting us a matchup, and we'll have a comment or two about it. I could see Randy.
March Madness right around the corner.
Far more than nodding his head on that for sure. So the AFC and NFC title games were, at the very least, fruitful in my opinion, in terms of how we saw a pretty good betting volume. Year over year, we saw more people betting into these matchups than there were year before. And I think that some of the things that I wanted to look at, Randy, is as we take lessons from it, I see the one thing that I realized is the rise of the mobile quarterback. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, he's obviously been in the league forever, and we'll get to rookies and all, but the mobile quarterback, and of course on the other side, Allen, Jackson, Mahomes to an extent, right? Yeah. But the ones that were in the title games were certainly as mobile as the definition of a mobile quarterback can be. I thought that there was going to be some kind of line of demarcation in seeing the dropback quarterbacks still having some kind of a punctuation in this game. But, Randy, I don't think that's here anymore.
Well, in today's era, athletes are quicker, bigger, stronger, and that's part of it. So obviously at the college level, a lot of these guys are doing the RPOs, and so they're carrying it right into the NFL. Because let's be honest, you could be a triple threat now. I mean, back in the old days, it was just a drop back passer.
Yes.
In today's era, you could be a triple threat at quarterback, and it definitely spurs. That's what coaches are looking at, especially offensive coordinators, when they start looking at their teams.
Nick, I know yes, woe is the Niners fan, and Brock Purdy certainly the opposite end of the spectrum. He's definitely not a mobile quarterback. He's more of what we just mentioned in the former. Mm-hmm. You can't say that it's not a successful system to have a quarterback of that, because we've been into it for months and months, the woe that was the Niners season and what they had to succumb to over the course of the entire season. Yeah. But I'll let you play the devil's advocate here for a non-mobile quarterback.
Well, I think at the end of the day, I mean, really go back to Michael Vick. I mean, he was the first one that really kind of got that, run-pass option and kind of scrambling around back there. But ultimately, you still got to pass the ball. And you look at like a Colin Kaepernick, came into the league,
Yes.
and kind of blew everybody away until defenses figured out how to stop him, and in Lamar this year he's definitely improved a lot, but in years past he wasn't that accurate of a passer, right? And so defenses kind of cheated a little bit, and, you become too one-dimensional. So obviously, the Lamar today, he's a true dual threat where he can beat you with his arm or his legs, so kind of pick your poison. But at the end of the day, you still got to be able to pass first. If you're just one-dimensional, it ain't going to work.
And don't forget, injuries play a part. When you're RPO, you're more susceptible to injuries.
And we brought this up, I think, a couple weeks ago, when we were talking about would Derrick Henry have the same kind of year if he was on the Cowboys? And I said no. Because, between Lamar and Henry having that read, which one are you going to pick? So, but at the end of the day, you still got to be able to make a pass down the field. And if you can't do that, it doesn't matter if you can run. The defenses are going to cheat every time.
Randy, I got this giant shit-eating grin on my face right now, and not because of the great commentary that you had right there. Nick, congratulations. You are fined $5. Not only did you use at the end of the day once, you used it twice in your take. So not only is it a $5 fine, I'm going to give you an extra dollar on top of that, Chris. We're going to find that bucket. It's somewhere back there in the kitchen. We're going to keep that running tally.
I like it.
$5 fine. You are here. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm going to.
It's right here. It's actually, my list is here. I'm going to go ahead and add it for the social so you could see it.
Could we do over-unders on phrases?
It's actually right there, number 5. At the end of the day, so $5 plus $1. You use it twice.
I've got a little trivia too, so I'll probably get fined on this one.
Don't say it.
My friend Taylor Swift. Do you realize?
Do
you realize
$5.
Here we go.
that since
he's got to get fined $5 again. That's $11.
This is a true story. So, since she started dating Kelsey and attending games, total games, Chiefs are 17-3. And do you realize this year, the 8 games she attended, the Chiefs are 8-0. That's a little trivia as we go to the Super Bowl that I think is important.
Randy Wike, I see what you did there.
But to that point, if it wasn't for Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, the Chiefs would already have a 3-peat. So, and that was well before Taylor was in the picture.
Well, that's true, but
$6, $5.
Did I say it again?
That bucket, no. I'm just telling you. From earlier, both of you, that's $11.
And what did I get fined? My $5?
Taylor Swift.
Oh,
yeah, Taylor.
Any Taylor Swift comment is an instant $5 fine.
I kind of feel bad for the girl. I don't. Just go out and watch the game, have a good time. She's just a regular person.
You created this.
I didn't.
This is not in my notes.
Okay.
What is a great dovetail is actually the 2024 season that I wanted to cover. These are the lessons from this. Their 2024 offseason is simply one that I just cannot describe. They continue to dominate. Randy, I didn't have them exactly declining heading into the season. Didn't really have them going that much worse. However, the biggest reason I was wrong, it's Howie Roseman. This guy cannot miss. The general manager, of course, Saquon Barkley, that's the easy fruit. It's right here. Yay.
Yeah, but you talk about Saquon last season. What has he really done?
What has he really done? Oh my God.
Through last season, not this season.
He was very good. Okay, fair. But look at what he did. He added that much more. So it's sort of like far more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
When you add it to the offensive line and the ball control that they have and a quarterback that they have, right? The mobile quarterback that we discussed. So, yes, running back, easy.
But the depth on the offensive line is very big.
Right.
And the pickups that they got on the defensive side of the ball.
Thank you.
And if you look over these last 5 weeks, to your point, all of these guys they picked up in the offseason have played really important parts to their success. And because remember, back in week 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, the Eagles were banged up.
Yeah, they were.
Especially on the offensive side of the ball. And they were able to make it through with, I think, one of the best depth charts on the offensive line in the NFL.
Randy nailed it right there because, again, the rookie quarterback, Quinion Mitchell, line up Terry McLaurin against him 36 times. McLaurin couldn't do a thing against him. Not to mention Cooper DeJean, other rookie corner. These guys are like cornerstone cornerbacks. Play on words. But to get them in the draft
Yep.
and to have that great a
Production out of them.
production out of them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's not also forget some of the other guys. Free agent C.J. Gardner.
Yep.
He allowed 2 catches for 25 yards. The right guard, Mekhi Becton. These are all additions. That were not here last year, are here this year. Howie Roseman, if there was an award, there probably is an award for general manager. He's easily the winner here, not to mention Kellen Moore, who came in and he was, of course,
Done
the
a
former
fabulous job.
Cowboys and Chargers OC. He helped the Eagles with finding far more answers on the offense. So great draft picks, free agent signings, a coordinator hire, that clearly overshadows, all of the worst signings.
I mean, not forget what was it? I think it was week 5 or 6 where they were starting to call for the head coach's firing.
You actually said that you want this team dismantled.
Yeah. Well, and I still think to that point, there's some dissension in the locker room with Brown. I still think he's distant from the other players. These last couple of games, reading a book on the sidelines.
I don't remember. Were you here for the episode? I don't remember, Nick.
I don't think he was. No.
They said, A.J. Brown was reading a book live during the game, and I said, this guy is not going to be on this team.
No.
Yeah, no.
How can you do that? I don't care how well this season goes.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
This last game was his first touchdown in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next year, but no question, they did a fabulous job in trades and waivers, and excellent job.
The other thing, obviously, that keeps coming up is, it's not really much of a lesson, but just a reminder, at least for me. It's an oblong ball, guys. There's going to be luck involved, especially with fumbles, right? And so
There's an element.
Sometimes it's just good to be lucky. Both the Chiefs and the Eagles, obviously, they deserve to win on Sunday, but even good teams benefit from having something mostly out of their control go their way, right? And so the Eagles continue to dominate on the turnover battle, forcing lots of fumbles. After recovering 47% of the fumbles during the regular season, they've fallen on 8 of 11 fumbles that have hit the ground in games during the postseason, right? So this very difficult to overcome.
Yeah.
When you're losing a turnover battle, you're probably not going to win, especially in the playoffs.
Yep.
Kansas City, they benefited again when their opponent, lost on a player to injury.
Wait a minute. Did they benefit from injury, or did they have little referees help? I'm just asking that question.
So fine, you bring it up. So the Bills weren't really sure whether they would have top cornerback Christian Benford back, right? And so they were clearly targeted.
Yeah.
When the backup cornerback came in, and so that definitely was not lucky. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. Talk about the fourth down. Let's just get it out of here.
Well, not even to the fourth down. The play down at the 2-yard line when the the Bills had jumped offside or whatever, but the pass Kansas City catches, I don't know if it was Worthy or who caught it, but clearly number one, the ball hit the ground.
It was Worthy.
Number two, you can honestly say that the defensive player had the ball when they did hit the ground, but the ball hit the ground. Okay? Now,
but did he have control of the ball?
For whatever reason.
And here's the thing. It was ruled a catch on the field, and there was no conclusive evidence to overturn that ruling because you can't tell if he had control or didn't have control. So and if I was a rep, I'd probably come up with the same call. Because, does it look – it's kind of tie goes to the runner. So it's kind of a tie thing. So it's the call on the field stands.
Then the pass interference in the third quarter.
Okay.
I'm still questioning that one because he didn't touch him.
I
And
agree.
he got a pass interference. And then, honestly, when you have Tony Romo say on that last drive for the Bills, he clearly gets the first down based on the camera.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the Chiefs' previous playoff game, you had the same issue. You had 3 questionable calls that dictated the outcome of that game. Now, I see Hunt is fighting for it, so you can't get on the referees. Well, why can't you? No question. The Chiefs scored 30 points for the first time all year. But again, they had a little help. And these game decisions by the NFL referees have dictated the outcome of these games.
Nick, if only there was NFL's got like a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money, a lot of revenue. If only there was like a technology that existed where like you could find like, the ball, like it's
like RFID,
GPS, RFID.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it exists in tennis in every match.
We have it in casinos. That's how we know how much chips are on the table.
And, I always use this line in reality with family. If I could have had a pill or drug to go right to the grandchildren and not had kids, I would have done it.
Okay.
All right.
No, and I think we're all human and we're all going to make mistakes. And referees are no different, right? And you're in the moment, and I'm not going to literally play Monday morning quarterback. But at some point, when does the NFL say, hey, we just go to a replay on every system and just let it all the penalties are all AI based.
Well, not on this postseason, but very good point.
I mean, it's the technology's there. I think the counter argument to that is, I know from a Niners perspective, we have a issue with the Chiefs not being called for holding. Well, in reality, there's holding on every single play in the NFL.
John Madden said there's holding on every play.
And when I was a lineman, I was taught it's only illegal if you get caught. So, again, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah. But I do kind of agree, with Randy to the point where that fourth down really changed the outcome of the game. And not to mention when Kincaid missed that pass, I don't know if you guys saw it, the ref threw the yellow flag just in case he caught it. So they never even said what the flag was for.
Yeah. Well, and again, on the fourth down play, you have the referee on the inside of the line, you have the other referee on the outside. Let's get it straight, fellas.
But look at not to dovetail to another subject, but we kind of saw the same thing around Tom Brady when he was having his runs, and the refs are on his side, and Deflategate, and all this kind of stuff, right, wrong, or indifferent. But just take the refs out of it.
If
solves all the problems.
If Dalton Kincaid at the end, if he doesn't drop that pass, it goes down as one of the greatest, pass plays in the history of the NFL. Instead, it's Josh Allen's 0-4 against Patrick Mahomes. What a cruel twist of fate. And I guess on that note, Randy, is Josh Allen ever going to win a Super Bowl?
You know what? It's a shame because
not a prediction. It's just.
Yeah.
I think he's got to go to a NFC team, and then maybe he's got a shot.
Well,
at least to get there.
I really believe that they need some help on the defensive side of the ball, and they need another wide receiver that's kind of your go-to guy, and the Bills will be there.
Nick he's still only 28 years old, but even to get back to the AFC Championship is you probably just mentioned, it has to go to an NFC team. He still has to get through Baltimore, MVP quarterback. Cincinnati's going to be better.
Yeah,
they're going to be better.
There's powerhouse teams in the AFC that you got to really overcome.
It's so tough.
I would say on a pure talent level, though, the guy's pretty talented. I don't think as far as
him or Lamar
athletic
was
ability,
going to win the Player of the Year.
Yeah. Oh. And I think, in my opinion, it goes to Allen.
I say Allen too. Yeah. What you keep doing this? You keep dovetailing very well for me, talking about awards.
I just wanted to get your takes on the. I mean, Belichick kind of came out and said the other day that we should change the name of the Lombardi Trophy
to the Brady Trophy.
I mean, got a valid point. The guy has 7 of them. He literally has more than any other franchise.
Yeah,
one guy.
Yeah, maybe posthumously though.
Now, to me,
change an award for
a
him.
player award sounds more like MVP of the Super Bowl. That's just me.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to give you guys new hats today. I'm going to let you choose your rookies of the year. We're going to handle the offensive side since that's one that's probably far more in a wheelhouse. And for those that have obviously, play fantasy sports and fantasy football, we all know about the players on the offensive side than on defensive in most cases. Let's go and take a look at first the easiest one, or maybe not. Quarterback. The NFL top rookie at quarterback, Randy. Who would you choose?
Jaden Daniels, clearly. Nobody even close.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the guy's his rookie season. You take a franchise to it was like 92 the last time they were in the NFC Championship game. So the guy wasn't even born yet, probably.
I didn't really have. I can't push back. Honestly, I can't even really do much. I was going to probably just.
You know
say,
who's not the rookie of the year is that guy from Chicago.
From Chicago. I knew this was coming. It just
8.5 wins on the season. Jesus Christ.
They're going to be better, Randy. They're going to be better next year. Tell them.
They're going to be right.
They'll
with
win
the
5.
Raiders and the Bears are going to be. They're going to be there.
All right, so okay, very quick diversion. Let's just do this. Pete Carroll's the quarterback. Wow.
Head
Okay, I
coach.
buried the lead there. He's the head coach right now. Mm-hmm. What are the chances that he comes knocking and brings Russ Wilson?
There's no doubt. And if you caught his little quote yesterday on
Vegas.
the interview, he says he's not to that point yet. He's still trying to put coaches together and look at possible players that he can bring in. But he is on his list.
We'll definitely cover
Chef
free
Les
agent
gonna be cooking in Vegas.
free agent moves in the off season because it's clearly something that's a hot topic for Mr. Wike over here. I want to give at least a second team award here at quarterback here. Just one note, of course, on Jaden Daniels. What's really insane is that this is probably the worst setup that Jaden Daniels is going to have. They are $93 million under the cap.
Yeah.
So there only could be better things to come for Washington. Yay, New York Giants.
Well, and I'm going to honestly say this. Having Ertz at tight end had a career.
Yeah, yes, he did.
This year.
Yes,
and
he did.
having him, I know he got big incentives in his contract because he was able to achieve them.
Yep.
But you look at that offensive side of the ball, and especially the last few games with him. I mean, he's catching double-digit receptions.
Yes.
Going over 100 yards. This guy, Jaden Daniels, made him an all-pro.
Oh, 100%.
So
Amazing, huh, for a rookie. Second team, I'm going to give it to Drake May, New England Patriots. This is the ultimate, he made chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's no other way to put it. He was set up for failure, didn't even have a chance to start, which I thought was wrong.
I had Bo Nix.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I had Bo Nix
That's fair.
in my second one.
That's fair. This is
He
good.
had a great mid of the season.
Yeah, and look what the
games.
Broncos were and where they are.
Yeah.
Very good points.
And what really has changed around
Okay,
that.
so we got a little bit of a debate, at least on second team.
But for your Giants, I'll give you Nablers, receiver. I mean,
So, okay.
I don't think I can think of a
wide
rookie
receivers.
receiver.
Let's do wide
Malik
receivers
Neighbors,
next.
definitely.
We're going to pick 3 wide receivers here. So, Nick, you started with Malik Neighbors. Excellent choice.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of another one besides the kid from Ohio State, Harrison, who actually
Marvin Harrison
started good.
okay,
And then he
yes.
actually
I don't
failed.
think he was started good. I
Yeah.
think he was a little overrated through the season. I wouldn't put him in the top 3. I mean, the kid's got talent. I think he'll be somewhere. But as a fantasy owner of Marvin Harrison that traded him away week 10, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, he kind of tailed off in the middle
And I
of
think
the
like the
season.
next week after I traded him, he caught like 2 touchdowns.
So I'll refresh you. Of course, Malik Neighbors is one that is pretty much the only shining star. Well, Tracy, we'll get to running backs in a bit. Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, Brian Thomas.
Right,
that's
LSU
great.
just continues to
Yep.
just produce Maserati-style wide receivers. He's got everything that you could possibly dream of for Jacksonville. 87 catches, almost 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, number 23 pick overall in the first round. He long felt like he was an addendum to the big 3 of the rookie wide receiver class. No longer. Only 5 rookies had better debut seasons than Brian Thomas Jr., A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham Jr., Puka Nacua, and Jamar Chase. Those are the only ones that had a better season as a rookie. The second one that I wanted to mention is actually, this was funny, I found myself doing this. You'll laugh. I almost called him Phil McConkey again. Lad McConkey of the L.A. Chargers, a second-round draft pick, number 34 overall. Lad McConkey, 82 receptions, almost 1,200 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Who do you guys have for Rookie of the Year?
Overall. Offensive.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you got 2.
Yeah.
You got Brock Bowers with the Raiders and Daniels. Those clearly were the 2 that were above the rest of the rookies.
I think if you got to go purely on stats, you got to give it to Bowers, right? Because, I mean, I believe he has the most catches as a rookie.
He's a beast too.
I mean, and that's going as a tight end going against Justin Jefferson and some of these other names that are on that list.
We are not going to find anyone else at tight end. You know what's more to say about Bowers? 112.
Well, and
112
I've heard it
receptions.
said about a dozen times this year. The kid runs great, precise routes, and as big as he is and as strong as he is, and again, remember he's coming off of a knee injury, a pretty serious knee injury, but he runs great routes. And he dominates. You can't put a linebacker on him.
Yeah, no. I mean,
So he is clearly a class in himself at tight end.
Easily. We could accolade him forever because he deserves it all. But the thing that I don't want, and we can kind of end here, is, and yes, thank you so much. I completely agree with you all. It's definitely Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Wide receivers, I think we hit on the ones that mattered. I thought it was going to be Marvin Harrison, but he just petered out.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was kind of really big, and I think Arizona as a whole had a lot to do with that. You know, we talked about offensive lines.
The only other position that we didn't mention is actually at running back. Bucky Irving, of
from Tampa Bay. He's number one in my book.
Who had an incredible season. 125th pick overall. Not bad where you could get the running backs.
Exactly.
So great job to Bucky Irving. And that's where I gave Tyrone Tracy Jr. of the Giants, by the way, a small little second team. He did amazing for what he was given.
Since we're kind of on this island of running backs for a second here, I'm going to ask you guys this. Do you think the value of the running back changes over the next free agency? With, you know, Saquon's and Derrick Henry's really kind of showing, hey, this is the value. And to be honest, you can look at the Niners without Christian McCaffrey for the entire season.
Well, we're back at quarterback, right? Isn't there quite a few quarterbacks that are up for free agency?
I do believe so.
And defensive guys. There's a lot of defensive guys up. One thing I will say, if you look at the upcoming NFL draft, you're back to wide receivers again. You got
to have so many good wide receivers.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some highlights. I'm telling you. Remember Joe Horn of the Saints? Mm-hmm. His kid is absolutely lighting it up right now in the East-West, the Shrine game. It's going to be it's tonight. You take a look and see, at the very least, watch the highlights. There are the workouts that are coming out. He is simply unstoppable. There's going to be so many names that you're going to be hearing about in the next 4, 7, 8, 9 weeks that are just showing that they are far better than the teams that they played for.
Well, I watched last night the highlights of that kid from Marshall, the edge rusher.
Right.
And he's had an unbelievable what he did to that offensive lineman last night. Well, I mean, he took two guys out. Out and actually picked them up and drove them back 5 yards.
Here we are. We're not even yet to the Super Bowl, and we're already excited about what's to come. Yeah. Final thoughts on Brock Bowers is I don't want people to think that, he's Rob Gronkowski. He's exactly not Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. What I thought Gronkowski was a basically linebacker playing as a wide receiver. Yeah. What I think Bowers is a wide receiver in the body of a linebacker. It's two completely different things.
If you look at Bowers, he's a true tight end.
Yeah.
He fits the Todd Christensen, Dave Caspers, those guys. Even the kid from Kansas City, I just went blank.
Kelsey?
Oh, Tony Gonzalez. Oh. He fits those. He fits
a little bit before.
Well, Kelsey too. But he fits that image when you say tight end.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did Wilson pass? I mean, who was a good tight end out of Seattle? I mean, you got Jimmy Graham for a year. But
he was. I thought Jimmy Graham was more Saints
breakout. I know he was a Seahawk for a season.
Never really came anything from that position. Xavier Worthy, by the way, Chiefs, far more than they ever thought of. Just as another honorable mention, they thought he'd become like a deep threat. Mm-hmm. But boy, oh boy, in the postseason, we've seen a lot more than just him being a deep threat.
The speed.
There's so much speed.
Once he catches the ball.
Got a lot of great hot takes there and a nice, short, compact episode, gentlemen. Thank you.
Nobody's going to throw out a pick for who we think?
Far more next week, but let's get your 9-10 days out selection right now as I set the number early. I initially wanted this one to be a little higher, but we're going to settle at Kansas City 1.5, the total 49. First take, Nick?
KC wins and covers. I personally think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think I told you guys this. I see like a 13-10. So I like Chiefs and under.
Randy, Nick goes with the never bet against Patrick Mahomes in the postseason class.
I'm just saying, it's done pretty well.
Which class are you
I'm
siding
back
into?
to the old school defense, and you got to be able to run the ball. And if you pick that, you got to go with the Eagles. What they've done lately with that rushing attack, and that defense has played nasty. Defense wins championship.
You almost went an episode.
Up against a team that
Defense
just scored
wins
30 points
championships.
for the first time all season, and they're saying they don't have a defense?
No.
They haven't scored 30. They still
Kansas City, one of the top defensive teams in the league against the run. Cannot wait to see us break this one down. So
That'll be fun.
Okay, that's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us on this fun, action-packed episode. We'll be back again next week. We'll be breaking down.
We need to talk NIL next week. I've got
a lot more of Super
that on
Bowl
your fine
and a
list?
lot less of NIL. See you all next time.
Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Bookie and the Bettors Show. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be the first to know when new episodes drop. Hit that subscribe button and join us.